So we've been working with Brian and his team since last fall on this setup. We actually went ahead and paid up front for the third member to get that ordered with the gear ratio we needed to match the front diff. And we went ahead and ordered the TBM brake setup for it that we was gonna need. So then me and Joey got him the data for the rear. And when we got in there and started dropping plumb bobs, we noticed that the offset was like twice what a normal offset is as far as where the drive shaft comes in. Normal car, you see like maybe 5/8. This Jeep is like 1.25 inches, maybe it's a little bit more than that. I can't remember the exact figure. But when we sent him that information, he was like, wow, that's gonna be a huge offset. He said, I'll see what I can do. This was prior to PRI and stuff like that. Well, I think before PRI, he sent me a message. He's like, man, we started on a housing, and he said it just looks weird with this huge offset. He said, you're looking at it from the back, and it looks like everything is to one side. It's just an eyesore. He said, so we're going to scrap this housing, and we're going to try to figure out how to mask this offset where it looks normal from the rear. So I told him, I said, I hate for you to have to do that, but you know, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel good about what you're giving us. So I guess it was right after the first year, he hit me up. He said, I think we got it figured out and we're going to roll with it. I said, just sounds good to me. So this is what we got. And they've done an awesome job at making this all look uniform, even with the big offset. So we'll go through it. We'll talk about all the parts. You can see obviously here we got the TBM brake setup. This is probably the best brake setup on the market right now, in my opinion. The best looking, the lightest weight. They're basically taking over the drag racing brake world. I've got them all the way around on my car. Just a really nice set of brakes. And Jason and the guys, they're awesome to deal with as well. And now Motion Raceworks, I guess they bought TBM now. So we work with Doug a lot. So really good people. Check them out if you're looking for a drag race set of brakes. We've got 40 spline gun drilled axles. This is the lightweight flanges on the end. 5/8 studs is standard on anything drag racing that we deal with. The third member, this is the Strange HD aluminum through bolt design. I think it's got a 370 gear. This is to match the front diff like I already said. He always does really nice brake lines on the housings. Everything's formed to the housing already, you know, ready to go. He's got everything mocked up so nothing's tight, so make sure you check that. I know a lot of people that slap parts in without checking anything. Just make sure your lines and stuff are tight before you start pumping fluid in there, because you know this is he's just mocked up everything for shipping. Nice huge fuel cap on this thing. Another little detail that I like, we've got our anti-roll bar attachments integrated into the 4-link brackets. You've got 3 adjustment holes. I guess depending on how far back you adjust your wheelbase, you can keep your anti-roll bar links pretty much straight up and down, or you know, move them depending on where you move the rear. So that's a good little detail there. Plenty of adjustment on the coilovers or your shock mounts here. We've got the billet shock mounts coming. We've actually got offset ones because our frame rail is going to be more narrow than our 4-link brackets. So we've got offset billet mounts that'll put our shock closer to the inside. As you can see on the back, it looks pretty uniform. You really can't tell that huge offset that it does have. I think he widened out this intersection here, maybe this gusset here, to kind of blend it in. But if you really stare at the 4-link brackets, you can see 4 fingers wide there and pretty much 2 fingers wide there. So pretty big offset, but this is a unique build. But they really knocked it out of the park. In my opinion, this is probably the nicest fabricated housing that you can get on the market, and really reasonable in price. You got the wishbone mount right there as well. You've got 3 different hole heights you can do on that. People want to know what the real price of this is. I said something on my last video about my rear end, but obviously this rear end's got a little bit bigger brakes. It's got a few different things, you know, that involve more material and stuff like that, because it's just a bigger housing altogether. But I think shipping and all, this was around $8,600. And I know these guys have got it down to a science as far as building these housings, but as nice as the housings are, and as much welding is involved in this, and as much prep work that's involved in this is a steal. Because your parts, you've got, I hate to break it down because I'll be wrong on something, but I think about $1,300 or $1,400 for the brakes. You got a couple $1,000s for the housing, or the third member here. You've got your axles and studs, your brake line there. Then you've got the housing itself. So I mean, it's a steal for what is here. Because anybody that's seen one of these rear ends in person, I mean, the guys that come in the shop here, or the ones that have come by here recently in the past few days that I've had this thing here, everybody walks up to it and gets their phone out and takes pictures. Everybody that walks in and looks inside the chassis of my personal race car, the rear end is the first thing they notice. So that's about it. Just a short video showcasing this awesome piece from Hammer Concepts and Designs. So if you need a custom rear end built for your setup and you want a real attention grabber, I was trying to find the right word there. If you just want an attention grabber sitting under your car that when you have it up on the Pro Jacks in the pits, people are going to pull their phones out and take pictures, definitely a Hammer Concepts rear is the one for you. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe, and I'll try to keep bringing some decent content. Got my race car over here. I know I didn't do a Datsun Friday video yet, but I'm trying to work on it. I wasn't here but half a day yesterday, and most of that was taken up with phone calls and stuff like that, so didn't get a whole lot done. But I'm up here now. It's Saturday. I've got a customer coming here in about 4 hours to pick up some stuff, so I'm gonna try to get to work and make some progress where I can actually show you guys something that I've done this week on this thing. So thanks for watching. See you next time.